Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about a little bit more of a controversial subject, and that is the topic of transgender, transsexual, whatever you refer it to as. I know for me, I do know that personally, I have 3 or 4 people in my personal life that are trans. And one of those happens to be my wife. Today we're going to be talking about what it's like for me to be in a relationship with someone who is trans and came out to me later in our relationship and not earlier. Because that is a question I have gotten a lot, is how does Katie feel about it? How is Katie handling it? What does she think? And I'm tired of reiterating myself to different people, so I thought, what's a better way than to make a video about it, where it's public. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's begin with when she came out to me. She came out to me in the middle of January of this year. It was about a week or 2 after I had just given birth to our youngest son. So I was still in the process of healing. I was sleep deprived because we also have an older child who is 3, and my 3-year-old wasn't really sleeping the best at that time. He was refusing to go down for naps, bedtime, it all. He wanted to stay up and play. If he did go to bed, he didn't go to bed for long. So having a newborn who I was breastfeeding at the time, and having a 3-year-old who was having some sleeping problems, I was very sleep deprived. I was still also on cloud 9 from just having a baby. That, for me personally, it lasts for a few weeks or a few months. So I wasn't quite in the right headspace. When she came out to me, I was very accepting. It's like, okay, that's fine. Do you need help? Like, what can I help you with? And how do you want to go about doing this? Sorry if you see me looking up. There's a window behind you guys. And the snowstorm that we're having in my area, we're in blizzard-like conditions. My wife is currently at work, so I am to keep an eye on the weather. If I notice it's getting bad, I am to call her, text her, let her know, hey, it's getting bad. You might want to leave early from work, because she lives about 20-30 minutes from the house is where she works. So she works out of town. So it might not be as bad where she is compared to where I'm at. So sorry if I look distracted, but I digress. When she came out to me, it was, how can I help you? What do you want me to do? I was very accepting. She didn't think I was going to be that accepting straight from the get-go. And I was. Because me, personally, I'm into women. There's nothing wrong with that. I've dated men in the past. I thought I was bisexual, but the older I got, I noticed I was more attracted to women. And I let her know when I had noticed it as well for me. So she was in the know. And I, of course, asked her, like, when did these feelings start? Is it because I said I was into women and you don't want to lose me? What's going on? And she told me when she had started having these feelings, and it was a little bit before me and her got together the first time. And it's like, okay, why didn't you tell me sooner? And her question, of course, her answer to that question was, well, I didn't know how you would take it. I didn't know if you would be accepting. And it's like, okay, understandable. I was in shock. I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. I was in shock because it's like, where did this come from? How did this even come about? And she said she wanted to start doing the transition. It's like, okay. For me, I knew it was going to be hard. Because one of the mental health disorders that I have it makes it to where I struggle with change. No matter how big or small, it could be from just moving to like someone wanting to completely switch their gender, go through the meds, the surgeries, the whole 9 yards. And of course, the name change. So it put me on edge a little bit, because it's like, okay, so this person I've known for, at that time, like 9, or just like, it was 9 years, almost 10 years. It like came out to me, they no longer want to be a male. Okay, so what does this mean for the marriage? So it put me on the edge, like, is our marriage gonna be over? What's happening? How is this gonna affect the kids? So I was an anxious mess at the beginning. Months later, I've come around to it more. Like, okay, so our marriage is gonna be fine. The kids, they notice a change, but they don't seem to care. But they also I don't think they fully understand to the full extent. And it's like, okay, they seem to love their other parent the same as they did before. Nothing had changed. And, it's hard on me. It really is. I'm not going to say it's easy. Even though I'm not the one going through the transition, I'm watching someone go through the transition. But when you really think about it, when you are in a relationship with someone who is beginning their transition into their new gender, it does affect you as well. It just determines on how it affects you. It's going to be hard for you, because this person that you love and you knew as somebody else and as a different gender for who knows how long. And then they're like, oh yeah, hey, I don't want to be this anymore. I want to be this. And it's like, okay. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be a little scared. You might be a little upset. Who knows? For me, I was just scared. I was anxious. I didn't know how I personally was going to handle it. Was it going to be too much? Because we're almost a year into this now, because she started in January. It's almost January. And we're ready to the point of, in the process of the name change, we're in the process of getting ready to talk to a plastic surgeon. And it's starting to finally really affect me to where it's like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm second guessing myself. Don't get me wrong. Love my spouse. She's amazing. She can be a brat. Best terms I can put it. Or a pain in my butt. But I do love her. And it's not necessarily the easiest. I mean, it's a little bit of a scary journey for me, because she's still pretty scared to talk to the doctor every 3 months about, updates, what she's wanting, what effects is she seeing, all of that. So I'm the one that I go with. I have to still talk to the doctor, be very, very involved, and bring up any concerns, any questions, things she might not think of or she's too scared to say. Because she's scared she's going to get judged. Which I can understand where she gets that from. But it does take a toll on me, because I have my own health issues. I'm chronically ill. I see a lot of doctors myself. And then, of course, the 2 kids, they see the doctor quite often because they're prone to ear infections. So it's a constant battle with ear infections and seeing the doctor with them. So having to be going to see a doctor every 3 months on an even more touchier subject that I know can be dangerous if it's not done right. It's still quite a bit for me. Also, it's not in the city we live in. It's 2 hours away in a city that's very well known where I live. everybody, no matter where you're at in the United States, you know about this city. So the traffic there, it's bad. The people there, don't get me wrong, there's some really nice, lovely people in that city, but there's a lot of people that make you question you should even be out by yourself as a female. So it's a lot. I don't do well in big cities. It's a big city. There's a lot of people that make me question my safety. That doesn't help, and then I have to talk to this doctor. I'm not gonna know what this doctor's gonna say. I don't know what the results are gonna do, because they do a blood test every 3 months. Every appointment they do a blood test. They have to check all the levels. And I don't know what these results are gonna come back as. I don't know if it's gonna be something harmful, something good, if it's the results that my wife wants or not. So for me, it's hard. It's mentally draining. It can sometimes be physically draining. And it can be emotionally draining as well. Because the meds they put her on for HRT, they make her very moody. And she can't have, your normal typical menstrual cycle with the bleeding and everything. But she still has the mood swings, the cravings, the crampings. It's a bit much. Especially the moodiness. Like if she's craving something and I don't get it within somehow a timely manner, like whether it's ramen noodles or, something homemade, because I do cook a lot. If I don't get that done and in her hands within a timely manner, she's a bit cranky. And it's like, okay. Or if she has cramps and I don't know how to make them go away. Because I don't. All I can say is like, pain meds, heating pad, a hot bath, something. Things like that. And if they don't work, I somehow get in trouble for it. So it's still quite a bit of change. I'm not experienced living with another female like that. So it does cause a bit of bickering, because her mood swings collide with mine. We're button heads a lot. And then it makes me question if I even want to continue, because this is a lot. The mood swings are sometimes insane. And she also, around that same time for her periods, which also seem to be around the same time on mine, she will go to bed, say she's cold. Within 5 minutes, the bed's like wet because of her sweating. And she's like burning up. So I'm like, I have a texture thing. For me, that sticky, warm body feel, it messes with me. It's like, I can smell it. It feels sticky. I don't like it. And she's one of those, she wants to cuddle up, especially when she's cramping. And she wants to be held. And it's like, if you feel sticky and you smell like you just ran a 5K, that's a little hard. So it's definitely a lot. I can tell you that for sure. But at the same time, I know I wouldn't change it for the world. It's a whole new experience. It also kind of forces me to see new parts of the world. The part I'm really not looking forward to is when she goes under for surgery, because I've gone with people when they go to have surgery, like my mom or my little sister. I'm sitting in like the surgical waiting room, waiting for them to be done and I can go visit. And I'm an anxious mess. The surgeries that my wife is going to be going for are like 4 to 6 hour long surgeries. I'm going to be by myself in like Chicago. I'll tell you the city. Because I could be anywhere around Chicago, honestly, within a 2 hour vicinity. Where we're going to be is around in the Chicago area near Lake Michigan for anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours. And then because of the surgery, she's not gonna be able to drive. I'm gonna have to. I just got my license 6 months ago, almost 7. I'm still learning on how to drive. I'm not used to Chicago traffic by any means. I also suck when it comes to GPS. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm one of those females like, you can put a GPS in front of me and tell me, hey, this is like where we're going, follow GPS, you'll be fine. I'll still somehow screw it up. But this time around, I have to get us home safely. She's gonna be in pain. She's more than likely gonna be very, very loopy and probably not making full and total sense. So it's trying to make sure she's okay, make sure she's comfortable. With my driving, I'd probably say closer to 3 hours. And it's gonna be still around winter time, if not early spring. So it's not gonna be the most fun. I don't know how to drive in like snowy blizzard conditions. I wasn't taught. I was just told, oh, go slow. Okay, well, what about on a highway? Because we have to take mainly interstate to get from where we live to where the plastic surgeon is. So I'm not looking forward to that. It's getting back to the point where I'm very anxious. I'm pretty moody myself. Because these are things we don't sit down and talk about. If something's going on with me mentally and something's getting to me because of her transition journey or ours, however you want to see it, we don't sit down and talk about those things. We're not really the kind of couple to sit down and talk about our feelings with each other, or really at all. We're the ones that are like, oh, we're fine, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's something little, it doesn't matter. That's how we are. So I haven't really told her what's going on. I haven't really told her really at all this whole entire almost year what has been going on. And of course I know the transition, it has caused some bumps in the road for our relationship, which of course it's not going to make it easier on me with those bumps in the road, but we have so far made them through. Might have yelled at each other, might have made some threats to end the marriage, or fight over who gets kids, but we made it through. We agreed that there's some things I could change. But I mean, overall for me personally, it hasn't really been too hard on me. I'm accepting of it. I'm not mad at her for it. I just want her to be happy. And if her being a female makes her happy, even though I kind of advise against it, because, being a female, it's not all, rainbows, unicorns, and sprinkles. It's not that fun. Like, yeah, sure, granted, we might have the cuter clothes, the cuter accessories, and it's a little more acceptable if you're a female to be wearing makeup. But really, it's not that fun. Females go through different kinds of pain that you couldn't even imagine unless if you are a female yourself. Just like there's some women out there that are like, oh, like me sometimes. Because I'm kind of on the fence of, what am I? Not just like gender-wise, but what am I in general? Who do I want to be? So there's times where it's like, I want to be a male. But I don't want like the change, or there's times like, I don't mind being a female, but I wish I had different parts, Like, women, females, we might say, it's not that easy. It's not that fun being a female. And then, of course, there's going to be the guys that are like, well, it's not easy or fun being a guy either. I'm like, it looks a lot more fun than you think for being like a guy or a female. Because with a female, being a female, no matter what kind of female you are, it does come with a lot more issues. Because there's things that women have to do every so often that men don't. There's risks that come with being a female, like where I live, don't be walking by yourself at night. If you are a female, have a male with you, whether it's a brother, a friend, a boyfriend, whatever, a neighbor. That way, something won't happen. So, I try to let her know, like, okay, it's fine that you want to be a female, cool, you do you. Whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. It's not as fun as you think. It's sometimes more painful as you think. And sadly, the route that you have to go to be a female and get what you want to be a female, like the parts and everything, it's going to be more painful. I don't know about, pain level wise for those kind of things like the surgeries and stuff because, well, I didn't have to have them. I was just naturally born with these parts, which I kind of hate, but that's for a whole nother different day and different video. But I'm letting her know, like, straight up, because she asked me about surgeries because she knows I'm very educated on things. I do my research all the time. And I have friends who are transgender, transsexual as well. And I ask them questions, like, what's the pain like? What's the healing process like? All those important questions. Plus, I ask, like, Google. And I go to reputable sites. I ask doctors, as well. I look up YouTube videos of people who's had it done. That way I can get a better idea. That way if somebody, like my wife, did ever come to me, I can ask her. That way it's not a, well, I don't know, you figure it out. Because that's not the right way to go. And sometimes, yes. There are times where mentally I'm just done. I don't want to talk about it no more. But I still don't take that out on her. And I never try to. But she'll ask me about the surgeries. I get a little irritated when she does it because she's like, you want to be my nurse for a second or for a minute? Not really. That's not what I signed up for. I didn't sign up to be a nurse. And a very underpaid one too. But I still do it anyways because I love her. And I want her to have the information that she needs to make the most educated guess or to be able to take care of herself. So she asked me, these questions and all that. And I let her know how it is. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't tell her, oh yeah, this will happen for sure. Like, you're going to have complications. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No. I tell her what could happen and the chances of it happening. Versus, like complications versus a normal healing process. I let her know that these complications can happen. These are the the chances of them happening. This is how many people it has happened to. And I just use percentages with her. It seems to work better. And I'll talk to her about it and everything. That way she can make that educated guess, and I'll tell her, if you need to think about it, you can. But what are you thinking about, like, right now after hearing all of this? And sorry if you see, like, the ring. I have a ring light behind you guys as well. And it has a phone holder, because I am filming this on my phone until I find my camera. So this is the best I got. But really, that's it. That's how I feel dating someone who is trans. I know there was a lot of rambling, but there's really a lot that goes into how I feel, what makes me feel what way. It's a lot of, so kind of sum it up, how I feel is happy, anxious, scared, sometimes a little irritated, sometimes a little fed up. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't change it for the world. And that's it for today's video. If you have any questions, comment them down below, and I will be more than happy to get to them. I might even make a video about it. And until next time, see you guys later. Stay beautiful.